Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the laws of exponents. So you're going to want to have the operations with polynomials worksheet handy. This was not included in your packet, but it is attached to today's lesson. So we're going to just talk about a few of the properties today and try a couple out. So when we talk about the laws of exponents, we have several. The first one is what happens when we multiply like bases. So if we think about what a like base is, a like base are bases that are exactly the same, have the same variable. So we have a to the 6th power times a to the 4th power. We are multiplying bases that are like because they're exactly the same. And when that happens, like a to the 6th power really means a times a times a times a times a times a. There's 6 of them. And a to the 4th is a times a times a times a. And if we think about what happens, we have 10 of them all together. We have 10 of the a's. And so when we multiply like bases, we are going to keep the base and we are going to add the two exponents. So 6 plus 4 gives us 10. And if we think about the next example here, b cubed times b squared, if we follow the same rule, we have 5 of the b's, and so we end up with b to the 5th power. So again, when we multiply like bases, we keep the base and add the exponents. So some other examples here, x to the 5th times x cubed, we keep the base and we add the exponents. 5 plus 3 gives us 8. And it's the same if our base is a number. So 2 to the 4th times 2 squared, we have the same base. So like bases, we keep the base, we add the exponents. 4 plus 2 is 6. And we can simplify that a little bit more. 2 to the 6th power is equal to 64. The second rule that we're going to talk about here is what happens when we raise a power to a power. All right, so a power is a base plus the exponent, and we're raising this to the 4th power. And so what that means is we have a to the 6th times a to the 6th times a to the 6th times a to the 6th, and if we add up all of our exponents, because we're multiplying like bases, we keep the base, we add the exponents, we end up with 24. A shortcut here, just notice 6 times 4 gives you 24. So as a shortcut, when we are raising a power to a power, we are going to keep the base and multiply the exponents. So 6 times 4 gives us 24. And it will work the same way. If we have x to the 4th power raised to the 5th power, we're going to keep the base, which is x. 4 times 5 gives us 20. We keep the base, which is 2, and 2 times 5 gives us 10. And we can simplify that a little bit more to 1024. So the third rule that we're going to talk about today is what happens when we raise a product to a power. Okay, so this is my base. A times b is my base. It is what is being raised to the 5th power. It is inside the parentheses, so both the a and the b are my base. So thinking about it the long way, it's really ab times ab times ab times ab times ab. I have 5 of the a's and I have 5 of the b's. So if I think about what this looks like, a to the 5th times b to the 5th. So if I raise a product to a power, I'm keeping the base and I'm multiplying the exponents on the inside by the exponent on the outside. So even though you don't see it, there's a 1 here, and 1 times 5 is 5. So if we look at some other examples, okay, here's my product. I'm raising a product to a power. I'm going to keep the base. So x and the y, 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 3 is 15. I keep the base and multiply the exponents on the inside of the parentheses by the exponents on the outside. Over here, a, b squared, c to the 4th, here's my product, there's my power. A to the 8th, because even though I don't see it, there's a 1 here, and 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 4 times 8 is 32. 2 cubed, b to the 4th, all raised to the 3rd power. This is my base, 2 cubed, b to the 4th. So 3 times 3 is 9, so we get 2 to the 9th. And 4 times 3 is 12, we get 2 to the 12th. And that's it for our first 3 powers for today. Thanks, guys.